All right. OxFit Podcast, episode 9.
Can't
Salty.
believe we're here.
Yeah, Salty and Beef are back.
Oh, man, for a third episode.
Third episode together. Yeah, how have you been?
I've been great.
I know we both just ate a pile of beef out there, just chomping away.
I know, I felt like for a minute there, I was like, is she going to eat her food or is she just going to stare at me while I eat this?
Well, you started to eat, and I was like, that sounds like a good idea, so I went and ate. You had, tell them what you had.
I was a little, I kind of went outside my norm, really, but wasn't as prepared as I usually am.
Mm-hmm.
It is Thursday, so I actually went to a concert instead of meal prepping my food like I usually do.
How dare you?
I know, I can't believe it, but I went to folk art, which I really, really like.
Oh, I've been there.
And I got a steak sandwich,
Okay.
gluten-free bun, no cheese on it. It had onions and mushrooms, and the way they season it, is to perfection. And then I'd get a little crazy. I added honey mustard to that, but I feel like I could put honey mustard on everything. So.
Was it their honey mustard or Aunt's honey and mustard?
Aunt's honey and mustard can't be beat, but I didn't have any on hand.
Yeah.
So I went with their honey mustard, which is actually really good. I'm pretty sure they make it in-house.
Okay.
So.
Yeah, my meal prep was a quarter of a baked potato. It was a massive baked potato. So like half a baked potato and some seasoned ground beef on top with zucchini.
It looked really good.
It was really good. And if anyone's listening, I know you and I have figured this out. Mm-hmm. I want to get those carbs in my diet. Rice does not sit well with me, and I try to stay away from gluten. Mm-hmm. But just a good old, like, white potato, if you just bake it, you put anything on top of that. It's great.
Oh, man. Potatoes any kind of way.
Potatoes are overlooked. Every time you look up a meal prep or see any meal prep, it's always ground chicken and rice with hot sauce on top.
Yes.
But potatoes? There's a lot more nutrients in a potato than in rice.
I mean, rice really is just empty calories. I mean, honestly. And that's why a lot of, like, bodybuilders and athletes, they do eat rice. But come to find out, if people didn't know, if you're listening, rice has very, very high levels of arsenic. Very high levels. I know. That's why, I can eat rice on occasion. But if you've ever noticed, if you eat rice on a regular basis, I don't feel good. My skin breaks out a little bit.
It bloats me pretty bad, which, I mean, it's not that big of a deal, but I definitely feel better when I'm getting my carbs from potatoes and fruit rather than rice. Or I went through a phase where I was eating a lot of rice cakes because they're pretty low calorie and it's like a sweet little treat. But yeah, I don't do well with those.
I will say this. I know you just brought it up, but when it comes to calories, fuck them. Yeah. Don't even think about them. Because honestly, if you are doing macros or you are just aiming to hit just protein, your calories will come automatically. Mm-hmm. And I feel like a lot of times people are so focused on low sodium, no sugar, low calorie. You're really just distracting yourself from the main goal of just eating the right amount of protein, carbs, and fat. The calories will fill themselves in.
Yeah, that is true. Especially the protein piece. If you're hitting the protein you need to, you are going to be eating close to an appropriate amount of food. Exactly. Like, you're not going to be too much in a deficit, and you're not going to be too far over like an appropriate caloric intake, because protein's going to keep you like in that nice little happy spot.
Absolutely. And and it's important that we do eat a lot of protein. I mean, not just for the fact that protein is, the basis of everything, our muscles and whatnot, but it also provides the right types of, vitamins and minerals and nutrients that we need.
Yeah, let's get into that, because I think that's what we really wanted to talk about today, was kind of people's tendency to skip over the easiest step, which is just having a balanced diet and going right for supplements and vitamins and just the the extras
Yes.
that are marketed to us, and especially as people interested in health and fitness, if your Instagram algorithm or TikTok algorithm knows you're interested in health and fitness, you see the Bloom ads, you see the Athletic Greens, you see the Reds, you see all of this stuff. And it's hard to pick out what's good and what's kind of bullshit.
Well, I mean, it's true though. It's, if you're someone new who's just getting into fitness, a lot of times you're just like, okay, where do I begin? And a lot of times people really do bypass, just go to the gym, work on your nutrition. Because, I mean, the most potent vitamins and minerals are going to come straight from the source.
Yeah.
Vegetables, fruits, your meats. And that's how these companies know that. They know that a lot of people aren't going to be coming with the knowledge of what they should be doing. So they're going to slap a cute ass label on something and have, great ads. And I can say I'm someone who has, I've definitely fallen for that before.
No, I still do. I mean, we've talked about how we like the pretty labels.
Yes.
I like lining them up in my cabinet and every day just being like, doot, 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 and like taking my things. And don't get me wrong, there's some stuff I take that I find value in, but there's a lot of stuff that I have just decided to cut out. And it doesn't mean they're necessarily harmful. I don't think anything bad is going to happen if you drink greens and reds every day. No. But I think you're going to find a lot more value if you, like you said, just get it from the source. It's the easiest thing to do.
And to really, add on to that point is, taking vitamins and supplements, they're not a Band-Aid. Because 90% of us Americans, we really have a shitty diet. And so what ends up happening is we, instead of focusing on, having some vegetables and fruits each meal, looking at a colorful plate, we go and we're like, I'm just going to take this vitamin, I'm going to grab this supplement, and I should be good to go. But you're just putting a Band-Aid over the problem. You're not actually fixing it at the source.
Yeah. Yeah, you can't out-supplement a bad diet. You also can't out-supplement a deficient diet or a diet that's lacking.
Yes.
Because there's plenty of people, I think, that eat really healthy and add in these supplements, but they could just leave the supplements out and just take their nutrition to the next step. So eat that extra serving of meat, eat your extra serving of fruits or veggies, or drink some extra water, add a little bit of salt to your water.
Yes.
There's a lot of things you can do before jumping right to, well, I don't need to have that big of a dinner because I put collagen in my whatever. So.
No. Yeah. And I mean, collagen is a good one. I love that you brought that up. Collagen is actually the largest protein in the body. I mean, your teeth, your skin, your hair, your nails. I mean, it lines your organs and intestines. Collagen is important. But what I see a lot of times is people, they ask me when, ever they start Ox 100 or they're new to the gym, and they're like, oh, well, what about collagen? Girl, you're just wasting your money, honestly, because that powdered stuff, what, they add protein to it, and it's like this nice tasting drink. But if you look on the back of the label, then you've got additives, natural flavors, gums, oils, all these extra things when you could just get it from eating enough meat.
And I actually have a container of collagen protein in my pantry right now. But it's funny because, on the front of it, there's a little cow and it says grass-fed collagen. But why? Just eat the beef.
Eat that cow on the label.
Right. Just go get some good, organic beef and eat that. And like you said, get it straight from the source. And once again, I mean, it's not going to hurt, but you don't just get exponential amounts of whatever supplement or vitamin or anything that you're taking. I mean, most of that collagen, your body's going to absorb what it needs. It'll probably absorb some if you haven't gotten enough from your food, but after that, you're just peeing it out.
Oh, yeah.
And so many products are marketed, especially to women, for nail health and hair health and all of this stuff, the gummy collagen and all of this. And it's like, well, how much of that is just literally being pissed away? Because that's not really how your body works. And then it can all be solved by maybe just improving your diet instead of spending $30 on gummy bears.
I mean, and what's sad is some of them are not even that cheap.
Yeah.
I look around and I'm like, okay, you want me to spend almost $100 for a 1-month supply of something that, as long as I'm just eating enough meat, protein, I'm going to get it easily.
Mm-hmm.
And you have to think about it too. That stuff is so processed as well. And it's like we're trying to cut out the processed junk.
Yeah. If I'm going to eat something processed, I just want some damn candy. I don't want a collagen gummy.
Right?
I mean, I had this past weekend in the car, I got a gas station snack, and I got sour straw bites. I knew it was a bad choice. It was a bad choice, but I did it.
What flavor were they, though?
They were assorted. It was strawberry, green apple, and blue raspberry.
Ooh, those used to be the sour straws of any kind.
I ate half the bag and then I had to throw it away because I got to a point where I turned it over and I was like justifying it. I was like, this whole bag is only 700 calories. And so I had to get rid of it. But it's okay to make those choices once in a while.
Yeah, absolutely.
But if I'm going to eat stuff like that, it's going to be that. It's not going to be $40 gummy bears that make my nails grow long, apparently.
And I can say from experience, I definitely, like we talked about, fell into that hole of, oh, these are super cute. I read reviews on them. They're great reviews. I'm going to start taking them. And I know we've all seen them. I'm not going to say what the name of them are, but they have a range of what these vitamins will do. So one is for, hair, skin, and nails. One is strictly for acne. One is for gut health. One can be for bloat.
And they're all their own cute little color.
Yes.
Yeah.
And the thing is like when I first took it, I did see some results but that's because I drank all the time and I had a really shitty diet. Yeah. So of course some health is gonna make me more vibrant, of course. But once I got my nutrition into check and started eating better and I stopped taking those, when I tell you the side effects that I had coming off of those, my skin was terrible. My cramps were so bad. I mean, it just isn't worth it. And plus 1 month supply was $45 for one bottle.
Yeah, and it's hard because you see and it's so, social media just makes it so much worse. And there's all these influencers that, have you seen the Get Ready With Me videos?
Oh yeah.
Right. It's kind of mind-numbingly fun to watch because it's just so I don't know, mundane, but you want to watch it and kind of ASMR.
ASMR, yeah.
ASMR. But yeah, and they'll have all their vitamins lined up and they open all the colorful bottles and they drink it with their green juice and they brush their teeth with this one special toothpaste and they have everything is perfectly lined up and then you're like, do I need that? And then you go look it up and it's like $50. So yeah, I think my goal today would be to try to de-influence people and de-influence myself and just try to remind myself that it's okay to go back to basics and just be healthy where it matters, which is your diet.
Yeah. I mean, let's talk about your diet in the first place. Think about this. The FDA has already very low standards for the type of food that we're fed in the first place. Yeah. And if you look it up, their standards and regulations on vitamins and supplements are even lower than what they have on food. And so even then you need to be careful with, even the brand that you're buying or just where you're getting them from. And that's to me, that's kind of scary. And so it's very much you can avoid all of that scariness by just eating whole foods, whole organic foods, grass-fed meats. Keep it simple. Save your money.
Yeah, definitely. But it's hard.
It is hard.
Because you want the stuff that's gonna make you feel better, and there's a time and a place for some things, but it's hard to go to the grocery store every week and really make a good choice, and it's hard to plan your meals, and it's hard to make sure you're eating enough protein. No one's saying that that's easy.
No, it's definitely not. You have to put in the work.
Yeah, but in the long run, it saves money.
Yes.
It's going to be better for you, and you're not going to have, like you said, the possibility of crazy side effects or like weird dependencies on certain vitamins and probiotics and supplements and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, and so aside from what we don't take, because I'd be lying if I said I just eat real food and that's it. And no, like I take a lot of stuff that I probably don't need. I don't know if I need it, but I do take it because at this stage where I am, I do see benefit from it. So I take creatine every day. Try to take it every day if I remember. Which Ant and I have talked about that on a previous podcast, the benefits he's seen with crealkaline, not necessarily creatine, but both beneficial. I also really enjoy beta-alanine prior to working out because I do think it does definitely make a difference. So if you don't know, beta-alanine is going to help muscle recovery. It helps you with longevity in your workouts, being able to recover quickly from workouts. It does that by creating a buffer for lactic acid in your muscles. So for us, because we are training at some days a week, multiple hours, 2.5 hours, back-to-back workouts, I see a difference when I do take that. Now, does it make me crazy? Makes me feel crazy, not act crazy.
True. I mean, you did just have that incident where I think you were up all night, like till the next
well,
morning.
that's because I had it with caffeine. So a lot of times with the beta-alanine, they're going to mix it with a caffeine in a pre-workout because for most people, the only time that it's acceptable to feel itchy and tingly, which is how you feel when you take it, is when you're also hyped up on caffeine, ready to go into a workout. Which I totally understand because I don't want to be sitting answering emails like scratching my face off.
Slamming down on the keyboard.
Right. Yeah, but I've actually tried to cut out the caffeine and just do the beta-alanine before I work out.
Yeah, and I mean, and if you're definitely someone like me who caffeine will probably kill me, beta-alanine makes me feel like I'm going to have a heart attack, and you can stick with something a little more natural. One of my favorite things is honey with a little bit of salt on it. Just pour a little out. You can put it on a spoon. You can put it on your hand. Lick it off.
A little sugar rush.
Little vasodilator. You're just like, you're ready to go.
Yeah, I think it's fun to have like the flavorful, crazy energy drinks prior to working out. But if you're somebody that just wants a little kick or a little pick-me-up, there's nothing wrong with just maybe a shot of espresso, or if you want that sugar rush, getting a piece of fruit, honey, salt on top. Gives you a little bit of carbs and just a little pick-me-up before you go into that workout. So all of those are easy things to try, especially if you're a morning workout person and you can't really eat a whole lot before you work out. Banana with some honey, maybe a little sips of coffee, sips of water. You're good to go.
Right, and you made a really good point earlier talking about how we train. Think about how we're athlete B, and someone who comes to the gym, they come 1 hour and maybe every other day, so they're coming probably like 3 or 4 times a week. Cool, they're athlete A. They're definitely someone who, if they're going to come to me, and they do come to me and they ask me, what about athletic greens? What about, creatine? What kind of protein should I be drinking? Like all this stuff. And when I tell them, well, let's hold off on that until we get your nutrition into check. And then if you want to take it to that next level, say you want to do, the Gulf Shores Triathlon that we're doing, you're going to run the marathon. Maybe you want to do one of the CrossFit competitions we do. Then let's add on to that. And that's what a supplement does. Vitamins and supplements, they're enhancers. They're not, like I said, they're not meant to be a substitute. just because, oh, didn't eat any veggies today, let me just drink my greens. We need to stop with the multivitamins and stop with just drinking the greens.
Yeah.
There's not a one thing fix all. There's actually not enough of each vitamin that they put into a multivitamin to actually have any real effect on the body. It really just comes down to what they want you to spend your money on.
Yeah. No, it is. And I think that is a really good point. Something I would want our athletes to take home is that if you are not yet getting adequate sleep, drinking enough water, having a balanced diet that provides you with enough protein, then we need to check those boxes before we move to that next level of adding in whatever it is you think you need. The only thing I usually just recommend that I think everyone should do is just add in a whey protein shake once a day.
I agree.
Because hitting protein is hard.
Yeah.
And I think without the protein shake, people struggle. Some people can do it, which is great. If you can do it without a protein shake, more power to you. That's obviously going to be the better choice than having some like fake powdered protein. But yeah, that's usually all I recommend for people to start. And then if you want to up your training, if you want to put more hours in, let's talk about creatine. Let's talk about how much water you need to drink if you're taking creatine.
Yes.
And all of those things.
Even with the water intake, I have people that are just like, oh, well, I drink a Gatorade or I drink a liquid IV.
Yeah.
Oh, stop that. Stop that right now. You are not training enough in a day for only an hour to drink a whole Gatorade. Now,
there's nothing wrong with just training an hour.
No,
that's
there's
great.
nothing at all.
You're above average American if you're going to the gym every day for an hour. But what Coca-Cola wants you to think is that if you pop into the gym and do your hour workout, you are a elite athlete that needs, actually scratch that. Coca-Cola wants you to think everyone should wake up and drink a soda or a Gatorade to start their day.
Yeah.
For terrible idea. But yeah, it's just not necessary.
Like, I mean, like say this weekend, we have endurance camp. We go and we run almost, 3 miles more. Then we go swim more than half a mile. And yeah, you know what? I'm going to probably drink a Pedialyte or, a liquid IV if I can find one. But we've just trained for a few hours. That is so beneficial to your muscles, to, just for your hydration in general.
Right.
But like you said, when you're training, you're coming to the gym, you're training for an hour, and then you chug a red Gatorade, all that sugar and those carbs and everything else included in that, you haven't really expended as much as you think you have.
Yeah.
And so if you're lacking in the sense of, knowing, kind of being like, oh, I don't understand why I'm not losing weight, but then you're drinking all these sugary drinks while you're working out or after you're working out, maybe it's time to take a step back from those and reevaluate. Because it's just as simple as water with a little bit of salt does the exact same thing, same benefits, might not taste as delicious because it's not chocked full of natural flavors or sugar, but it will keep you hydrated.
Right. And I think this kind of is a good transition to another thing I wanted to bring up. And I feel like it's so easy to spin like the kinds of conversations we're having right now into treating like certain foods or things as a reward and like, oh, I don't deserve that. I don't need that. Like, I think it's important to shift the way you talk about things. And it's not, do I deserve to have this? It's like, would my body benefit from this?
Yes.
So if you've been out in your yard working all afternoon and it's 90 degrees, your body probably would benefit from having a Gatorade.
Yeah.
Or like this weekend, we go run and we swim and we're outside and we're sweating, and then our tradition is having pancakes after. It's not because I deserve the pancakes, it's because my body needs the carbs and the sugar to, rebuild the muscles. So I think that's an important thing to keep in mind too, is is getting rid of that narrative of I don't deserve this or I didn't work out hard enough for this, and just thinking about this is what my body needs today because I did X, Y, and Z.
Exactly. And that's a good mentality to have. I feel like we've talked about it before, but people put such a negative connotation around certain foods and certain things that they're doing, because it's like, oh, I'm gonna have a cheat meal. You're not doing anything bad by eating this food. Why are you calling it a cheat meal? You want to have that? Go ahead. Then we'll get right back to it. But there's no need to make it this huge thing that, I'm doing bad.
Yeah, because that's not going to lead you to long-term success. Like I just said a few minutes ago, this weekend I had a whole bag of sour straws in the car, just straight up fake sugar gummy. But I mean, it is what it is. Like, I enjoyed it. I haven't had candy since then, probably because I had that over the weekend. But it's just making those, better choices every day and just keep on keeping on. It's not a big deal.
And it really does come down to knowledge as well. It's like, we might know these things, and so that's why we enjoy the pizza that I ate the other night. I ate that whole pizza by myself. Did I feel bad afterwards? Maybe because my stomach hurt a little bit, but I didn't mentally feel bad about it, but when you're not educated around nutrition and about what does and doesn't work for your body, then you're just going to be picking and choosing based off of what you see on social media or what you're being, shown on TV, or you're reading in, just on the magazine stand while you're waiting in the store, at the waiting in line at the grocery store. Don't eat this. Oh, can't have carbs, can't have fat, can't do this, can't do that. Stop.
Yeah.
Everybody is different. Different things work for different people. And you know what? Respect your cravings and respect your body.
Right. Yeah. And no juice or pill or anything is going to erase something you ate or take back something you did. So you might as well just, every choice you make, just try to make a better one the next time, or keep making good choices, or whatever it is. And I think it all comes back to just trying to eat real food and drink enough water and get enough sleep. And it's not really anything crazier than that.
No, I mean, you drink coffee in the morning.
Yeah.
I drink orange juice. It's my thing.
Yeah. Yeah. You get your carbs.
Yeah.
You love orange juice. So it makes you happy.
Juice. Yes.
Coffee makes me happy.
Right.
Probably a little bit too happy. I'm very dependent on coffee. But yeah, man, it's hard because I will probably see, like, I'm sure when I go on my phone later today, I'm going to get like 11 different ads for, it's listening to me right now. I hope you know
absolutely.
this. I'm going to get so many ads for greens and for reds, and they put them in a cute cup and they've got the hand mixer and they froth it up and like they drink it before they go work out, and they're jacked, and I'm not jacked and I want to be jacked, so I want to take it.
Let's be real. You are jacked.
But yeah, it's just trying to, de-influence yourself.
Yeah, but it's like you said though too. People want to drink those reds and those greens because by drinking it, they're like, oh, I'm being healthy drinking these greens.
Yeah.
It's all mental.
Definitely. One thing that I have had a good bit of that makes me think I'm very healthy, you know what it is.
I do know. That's why I'm laughing right now.
Beet juice. I've been drinking BEETS.
I love that.
And it tastes like dirt, and it makes you feel like you are healthy, and makes your pee purple. But come to find out, if you drink enough beet juice, it's also a vasodilator. It can lower your blood pressure. So I'm like, it's not a bad thing to add in. So the way you drink orange juice, I'm trying to add in a little bit more beet juice just as like a fun, I don't know.
I have to tell this story. I still think about, when I think about beet juice, is when he came in and I had just gotten over having rhabdo from when we did 2,000 squats. Terrible.
Don't. Just
Don't do 2,000 squats in 2 hours. It is not a very smart decision.
She's the only one that did all 2,000. I probably did 300, maybe. I did not do that.
I had to prove myself, you know? And I remember the next day, Anton was like, I got home last night and I went to the bathroom and I thought I was dying. He's like, I thought I had rhabdo. I thought something was wrong. He was like, I look in the toilet. He's like, I went to the bathroom and he was like, it was purplish red in there. He's like, what is going on? And then I remember I had BEETS for dinner.
Wild.
Crazy, man.
That is scary, though. When you eat too much of, like, blueberries or beets and you go to the bathroom and you're like, oh, this is it.
Right.
I'm dying.
Or even when I eat asparagus and I'm like, what is that? And I'm like, oh, girl, you fine?
It happens immediately, too.
Yes, it does,
Right
which is
away.
so crazy.
It's weird.
But if that doesn't show you how quickly the body absorbs those veggies that you're having,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that should be a sign.
Yeah. Yeah, for real. Asparagus. That sounds good right now.
I know, don't it, though? A little bit of balsamic glaze on it, charred a little bit.
Oh, let me put you on something.
A little bit.
Oh, let me put you on something. You ready?
Put it on me right
Okay,
now.
so we were talking about beets. I had a beet salad recently. Here's what you got to do. You got to slice up your raw beet.
Okay.
Do you like, well, you're allergic. You
I'm
can't have
allergic to
beets.
beets.
But if you want to risk it, I would risk it for this. So you get a raw beet. You put blue cheese on it. And you put arugula on top.
Oh.
Eat it.
Oh.
Shout out my boyfriend's mom because she put me on that, and it is so good.
See, there are times I will risk it for the biscuit.
Mm-hmm.
I'll think about it. It's just the last time I had beets, that rash on my face was just a little more than I can handle.
I love that you're here right now because if I tried to tell Ant he should eat a beet with blue cheese and arugula, he would. I think he'd punch me right in the face.
He really would. I mean, I it's true because I've spent the last year being made fun of by Aunt Oxley for what he says is called eating dirt.
Yeah, beets are pretty much a dirt.
And so now that you've joined this club, I can't wait for him to find out that you are now also enjoying dirt.
Yeah, a little bit. All right, well, good stuff.
I love it.
All right, so I think the takeaway from all of this is eating enough real food, fruits, vegetables, and animal protein is going to give you everything you need. And having a whey protein shake is just going to be a cherry on top. You're going to have all of your essential amino acids to rebuild the protein in your muscles. All the boxes are going to be checked. And then if we need to supplement on top of that based on your specific goals for like a creatine or a beta-alanine or anything like that, then we can take it from there. But otherwise, good sleep, good food, a lot of water. De-influence yourself from buying all this stuff.
Right.
And filling your cabinet with cute containers of powdered stuff like I have in my house.
I know. The most recent one that got me was my BCAAs.
Ah, the BCAAs.
Yeah. And
beta chain amino acids.
Okay. Yes. And it's just because the packaging got me, and I saw strawberry lemonade, and I got it, and it's like, but it's true though. I'm gonna get the same enzymes as long as I'm eating the mass amount of meat that I do anyway. It was just nice to be like a little flavor in my life, But
yeah, but I mean the amount of beef you eat, you've got all your essential amino acids right there.
I really do.
So there's no reason to pay to take extra.
No, and it's like you said, I like to have my protein shake as like a dessert, like a treat.
Yeah.
Tastes like Oreos. I eat all my food all day, and then at the end of the day, I'm like, this is delicious.
Yeah. All right. Well, I think for the next podcast, my challenge for us is to not talk about food. That's the only thing we've talked about, I think, on this. No, last time we talked about goals, but we probably also talked about nutrition.
A little bit.
But you're OxFit Nutrition. We got to talk about it.
And plus, food is my life source, man.
Yeah.
That'd be hard. That'd be a really good challenge, though. And I think I'm up to the challenge.
Not talking about food.
Not talking about food.
Okay. That'll be next Salty Beef podcast.
Okay.
It's called Salty Beef, but we are not going to talk about what we're eating.
No.
What you should or shouldn't eat.
Mm-mm.
We can do it.
I know we can do it.
All right. Stay tuned. That was good.
That was really great.
All right. OxFit Podcast, episode 9.